Could you just describe to us what is the damage caused to the music industry by piracy, but also what is the music industry doing to protect itself from that damage?
Well, it remains a significant challenge for the industry. For us, it's all about investment. So we invest about 20%, a little more than 20% of our total revenue into new bands and into what we call artist and repertoire, A&R. It's like the R&D of the music industry. And for us to keep up those levels of investment, we have to obviously maintain the amount of money that's coming into the industry. And that's the real challenge that we faced from illegal downloading, which is that the overall revenues of the industry have been significantly reduced. And there's often a debate around how serious are the effects. Isn't it true that some people who file share actually spend more on music? There are lots of studies on this, and overall what you find is that people who download illegally in aggregate spend about 20–30% less than people who don't. And the effect of that on the industry has been to reduce revenues and therefore reduce the amount that we can reinvest into new bands and new artists. And that's the long-term concern. There are the effects on the industry in terms of revenue, but it's also fair to say, I mean, I speak to a lot of artists, and a lot of artists find it very unfair and get quite emotional about this issue because they just think they've put a huge amount of time and effort, love into creating something, and then people just take it. And they find that quite sort of disrespectful, a lot of them. I mean, they also accept that sometimes it means that some people will get to hear of them who might otherwise not have, and so their views will sometimes be quite complicated, mixture of those things. But for them, they really do want their music to be consumed through the legal channels. They know that that means that money then goes back, not only do they get paid, but money goes back into the system that then allows another artist to make music.
Some people might say that the music industry was slightly behind the curve when it came to adapting to the internet and new technologies. But what's it been doing to catch up with that curve?
I think we were first, and there was absolutely no roadmap. And do we look back and think we got everything right? Absolutely not. Of course we don't. Of course, it would have been better had earlier in the development of these technologies, had we managed to find a business model around those technologies. But where we are now is looking, 5–6 years after that. We have loads of legal services available to consumers and loads of different business models. So the great thing is you can go online, you can buy a track, you can buy an album, but you can also subscribe to music services like Spotify, and you can listen to any music you want for free with ads, or you can pay and get portability, great quality, and you've got sort of 25–28 million tracks available to you instantly. So consumers have never had more choice in digital music. It's developing really fast, there's loads of innovation going on. So I think if the music industry was slow to adapt, which I think we probably were because people didn't know the right steps to take, we've absolutely caught up, and I think the music industry is one of the most innovative industries in the UK at the moment because there are constantly new models being experimented with, and labels understand it's all about creating a great experience for the consumer, and that's what we're really focused on.
Now, if you were a young band, what would you aim for? A spot at Glastonbury or 1 billion YouTube views?
I'd want to play at Glastonbury. I think maybe that's just me, but I think they come together in a sense. These days it is necessary for bands to develop a social media profile, to really engage with their fan bases. That's tremendously important, and it's very hard to have the kind of success you'd need to have to get to play Glastonbury without doing that. I mean, personally, I think Glastonbury is a bit more exciting, and everybody should aspire to want to do that. I think most bands would aspire to want to do that. But clearly, you have to do both. And one of the big changes that's happened in the music business, in the record industry in particular, is that labels now have loads of people who are experts in social media marketing, in CRM, engaging fan bases. And one of the big changes we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years is we can actually now really see in the UK the benefits of the internet for the music industry in some ways that people weren't talking about. People thought it was all about a cheap channel of distribution. Actually, it's all about being able to engage with fan bases right around the world instantly. So now we can market bands. If you look at Mumford & Sons, if you look at Jessie J, if you look at One Direction, we're having enormous success in the United States. And that is because we can now build fan bases without having to go through radio. So suddenly British labels are able to market to the world, and we're really, really good at it. And the great news is loads of people on the internet speak English. It's still the most spoken language by internet users. So we've got a built-in advantage here. And so I'm really excited about the changes that have happened in our business. Now we're becoming very much technology and digital businesses ourselves, and it's a tremendous opportunity for British music.